Hey, what's going on, everybody? Justin here at Trumpful Reads, and in this video we're going to be doing my December TBR. And no, it's a little late, and I've already finished one of the books, so I guess, for sure that's going to be, in the wrap-up and stuff, but just like work stuff and everything, I've been falling behind on my videos, but we're going to try and see if we can turn some stuff around maybe this week and get back into the rhythm of things and, try to be at least somewhat consistent with the videos, uploads, and all that stuff. But let's just see how it goes, and here we go. Let's just start with my first book. This is the one I've already finished, and it's The Children of Hurin by Tolkien. I think this one was published about 10 years ago by Christopher, and it was really good, but I'm not going to tell you anything else basically except that until the wrap-up time. But basically I just want to start reading all the other Tolkien-ish stuff, so that's why I picked up The Children of Hurin I think like 2 months ago, and I'm really glad I picked it up and decided to read it. Alright, so let's go with another fantasy-ish book, and it's Neil Gaiman's Norse mythology. I've been really looking forward to this one. I like Norse stuff, I like mythology stuff, and even though Nazi Boys wasn't like my favorite book ever, Neil Gaiman definitely is a really great storyteller, and I still haven't decided if I'm going to listen to the audiobook version of this book, just because everyone said it's basically fantastic. So either way, I think I'm really going to enjoy it, and I'll let you guys know what I end up deciding to do in regards to that. Now also, I just got a Kindle last month, the newest generation, like Paperwhite and stuff, for my birthday, and I'm really loving it. And I also discovered NetGalley like 2 months ago, so I have like a giant backlog of books basically in NetGalley that I'm supposed to be like reviewing and stuff. So each month I'm going to try and pick at least like 2 or 3 to try and read. And for this month we got first, it sounds so silly, it's Race Me in a Lobster Suit by Kelly Mann. And basically, from what I can gather, is Kelly sent out fake like Craigslist ads and stuff for like really dumb things, such as racing someone in lobster suits with basically seaweed and kelp and fish and stuff all over the apartment, things like that. She didn't really do these things, didn't actually meet up with people, but basically it's just transcripts of the like back and forth on the emails or messenger or whatever, to do some of these like crazy events and like just things. I don't know, it just sounded so foolish, but it just sounds really funny, and I just want something nice and lighthearted, and decided to go ahead and try and read that one. Okay, the next one is going to be Potato by Rebecca Earl, and this is going to be kind of like a weird, people are going to be like, why do you want to read a book about potatoes? And basically it's because where I live in Aroostook County, that is literally the only thing that like we're known for, I guess, is potato farming. I know it's kind of mundane and boring, but it's apparently a part of a series. I can't remember if it's called like the Object series, and they just take really basic objects, like I think some other ones are like a refrigerator and like a pen or something, and they write a book basically just on the whole like culture and history and mythology and everything on that one little mundane item. So I thought it was kind of a cool concept for a book series, and since I should know about potatoes, I guess I literally have like a potato field like 200 feet away basically from my house, but just try something different, so I wanted to give this little book a read. Alright, and then for a third one is In Search of the Canary Tree by Lauren Oakes. This looks like a really good life science book. I really enjoy reading about nature and that sort of stuff, and I believe this book is about looking for yellow cedars in Alaska, and it's not that they're like super rare, but they're basically dying off, and I think the author did some sort of research project or a doctoral project or something in regards to these trees in Alaska, and it's kind of like, I don't know if it's like an adventure story with the research and stuff, but it sounded really interesting. I love these kind of nature life science books, so that's why I asked to request that one from NetGalley. So hopefully I can get those 3 read and start to put away my backlog on NetGalley. And then one more book that I don't have a physical copy of that I'll probably listen to the audiobook of, and it's a book that came out I think like 2 or 3 months ago, and it's called Walls, and it's by David Fry, and I saw this one on Nat Geo's Book Talk, and it just looks really interesting. Basically it's a whole history of basically human civilizations that use walls, and like basically what they've done, both like obviously physically in the U.S. parts of defense and stuff, and sort of like kind of psychologically and culturally for the human race and stuff. And a big part of the book is not just like the past, but how the present age, basically the 20th and 21st centuries, are basically bringing back walls, and it's kind of like a weird. I don't know if it's necessarily a regression per se, but it's just kind of a interesting concept with walls obviously being the news in the United States and stuff, but lots of other countries, I can't remember what it was, I don't know if it was like 70 or 170, I don't know. Lots of countries are using walls now for various things and stuff like that, so I thought it'd be an interesting sort of cultural history book to listen to, so that's what I'm going with, Walls by David Fry. Alright, so now let's go on to some of my other stuff, and since it's it's the holidays and stuff, I'm kind of going for some more lighthearted reads, like as you saw with Racing a Lobster Stew. I just picked up this one last month, and it's Revolution for Dummies, Laughing Through the Arab Spring. This is by Bassem Youssef, and you guys might have seen him on like The Daily Show, but essentially he was a heart surgeon turned comedian in Egypt, and then basically he had to flee Egypt when basically for political expediency, because basically after the coups and stuff in like 2011, 2012, around that time, basically he was kind of an enemy to the state, basically through his jokes and everything. But he was a really popular comedian, basically on television in basically the Middle East and Egypt. So I just thought it would be kind of a just a kind of a funny, lighthearted book. And he obviously has a good perspective. Basically, obviously, being an Egyptian that grew up there and everything, but also a Western perspective by going to school in the United States for like surgery, heart surgery or something like that. So anyways, I thought it was kind of a cool little book, plus the cover I thought was hilarious, so I'm going with Revolution for Dummies. Alright, a book I picked up a while ago is How the Dog Became the Dog, From Wolves to Our Best Friends by Mark Durer, and this just looks like a really good life science book about canines, and obviously probably the evolution of dogs. Just thought it'd be kind of a neat little thing to learn about how we basically got our domesticated friends. And we've always had a dog. Let's see, we've had Springer Spaniels, I've had a German Shepherd, now we have kind of a German Shepherd Husky, I guess you could say, but Daisy's cool with that, so it just might be kind of fun to learn about, how Daisy became Daisy instead of just like a wolf. So I thought that'd be kind of a cool book to read about. I like to always try to read one of these Osprey Publishing books every month when I remember to, basically. And this month we're going to go with Armies of Medieval Burgundy, 1364 to 1477. This one is by Nicholas Michael, and the illustrations are by G.A. Embleton. And if you guys are new to the channel, basically I say this on every Osprey Publishing book, is they always have these like colored plates that are very accurate to the time period at hand. Highly detailed, and it's really accurate and really cool. Just kind of a neat thing to look at. And I don't really know much about medieval. I'm just gonna say I know nothing specific about medieval Burgundy. But from the time period, this is about the late Middle Ages, pretty much the end of the Middle Ages, the tail end, anyways. So it might be kind of cool to see like actual full plate armor, which really wasn't around until about then. So things like that. That'd be kind of a cool little thing to learn about. And obviously, since I don't know anything about medieval Burgundy, hopefully, filled in a gap in my medieval history knowledge. Let's see, another one is The Dragon Behind the Glass, and this is by Emily Voigt, and the subtitle is The True Story of Power, Obsession, and the World's Most Coveted Fish. And this is about the dragonfish, and I think it's like the Aurora, something like that. And basically, some of these fish can be worth, tens of thousands, even hundreds of thousands of dollars, because they're so rare, and the way they're bred, and, the different, genetics of different fish and stuff like that. But it seems to be in the vein of Susan Orlean's Orchid Thief, if you guys know that book. So it's kind of like a crime nature journalist investigation type thing. I've already started it. I'm probably like a third of the way through, and it's really good so far. I'm really enjoying it. This is Emily Voigt's first book, and I think this came out in 2017, so it's a fairly newish book. But like I said, it's basically all about the criminal underground of basically the ecology of the dragonfish. So it's kind of a neat little thing. And if you, like I said, if you know kind of the vein of the Orchid Thief, I think that's a good comparison to what this book is sort of like. And lastly, for a, let's see, a classical history book. We're going to go with The Extraordinary Voyage of Pythias the Greek, and this is by Barry Cunliffe. Barry Cunliffe is, I'm pretty sure I read something else by him earlier this year, maybe not, but I have some other books by him. Oh yes, I think he does a lot of Celtic history books, I believe. Anyways, if you guys don't know, Pythias the Greek was a Greek from Massilia, which is now Marseille, France. And even though his work hasn't survived down to our time, other classical historians such as like Strabo wrote about, or use we get fragments of Pythias from, like, for example, like Strabo or whatever, and talked about that Pythias. And what Pythias did was basically go at least to like northern Norway and possibly the British Isles, and possibly even like heard about like Iceland and stuff, which he called like Thule, things like that. So he was the first civilized, either like, Greek or Roman character, well, I say character person, to basically go to like Scandinavia and see some of the like northern Germanic tribes, stuff like that, which is really cool considering this was about I want to say the mid 4th century BC, BCE, so in the 300s BCE. So I think that's a really cool thing. Obviously, since his work hasn't survived down to us, there's not going to be a whole lot on Pythias per se, but sort of I'm assuming just sort of like little vignettes and stuff of what he saw or wrote about probably on his voyage, up through like Gallic Celtic territory and then into like Scandinavia, and the Germanic tribes and stuff. So I think that'd be really cool to read about, and that'll be my classical history book for the month of December. So there you guys have it. There's about, I think, 10 or 11 books that I'm looking forward to reading in the month of December. Already finished one because I'm like running super late. But yeah, tell me what you guys think about any of these, about any of the authors or any of the books if you've heard of them. Let me know what you think in the comments down below, and also tell me what the book you're most excited to read in the month of December is. I always enjoy reading comments such as those. But yeah, whatever you guys end up deciding to read in December, always remember, read victoriously.